You owned it. They made it illegal. Your HVAC was not broken. It was regulated out of existence by the same corporations now selling you the replacement. 100 million homes, one federal law. And the lobbying trail starts here. Federal law did not just nudge homeowners toward new HVAC systems, it slammed the door shut on the old ones. The Clean Air Act Title VI, Section 612, gave the EPA the power to outlaw the use, sale, and even the recharge of R-22 refrigerant in residential split systems after a hard cutoff. The statute does not mince words. Unless your unit was built before December 31st, 1999, and you can prove the refrigerant is reclaimed, it is illegal for any technician to add a single ounce of R-22. That is not a safety recall or a manufacturer defect. That is a legal switch flipped by a line in the Federal Register. The so-called pre-1999 exemption is buried in the fine print, but for nearly every homeowner, the effect is the same. Overnight, your working air conditioner became a legal liability. The EPA's own enforcement memos spell it out. Servicing with new R-22 is a civil violation, with fines running up to $25,000 per incident. The law did not care if your system was cooling just fine. It cared about the manufacture date stamped on the nameplate. That is how 100 million homes lost the right to recharge. Not because of mechanical failure, but because of a statute written in Washington and shaped by the industry selling the replacements. Carrier, Trane, and Lennox didn't just adapt to new refrigerant laws, they helped design them. Securities and Exchange Commission filings reveal the R-22 phase-out was a windfall. Carrier's 2009 annual report projected $2 billion in extra service contracts by 2020 tied to forced replacements. Trane's 2011 investor materials called the HCFC 22 replacement segment a $1.5 billion opportunity, expecting steady growth in new installations. Lennox in 2012 promised shareholders significant upside as high-SEER, R-454B ready units entered the market, perfectly timed with the Environmental Protection Agency ban on older models. Lobbying disclosures trace the cash flow. LD2 reports show all three ramped up spending as the Environmental Protection Agency drafted SNAP and AIM Act rules. Carrier spent $1.9 million pushing for a flexible phase-down schedule. Trane and Lennox each topped $2 million, targeting regulatory affairs. Public comments warned of catastrophic disruption, unless the rules favored their new products. The statute changed, profits soared, and homeowners paid. The scale of this engineered crisis is staggering. Start with the housing numbers. The United States Census lists about 140 million homes. The AHRI shipment data shows that around 70% of those have central air or heat pumps, roughly 100 million systems. Now factor in the Environmental Protection Agency's hard cutoff on R-22. That is not just a policy detail, it is a nationwide legal switch that instantly rendered these units unserviceable if they ever need a recharge. The law did not care how well your system ran or how much you spent keeping it up. If your unit relied on R-22 and was not built before the 1999 exemption, it was dead in the eyes of the law. No technician, no matter how experienced, could touch it without risking a $25,000 fine. That is 100 million homes, families, retirees, people who did everything right, locked out of servicing equipment they already owned. This is not a handful of outdated machines. It is the backbone of American home comfort, made obsolete not by failure, but by a rulebook written behind closed doors. And that is before even touching the next wave coming for R-410A systems. The numbers do not lie. The impact is everywhere. Crack open a 1998 Copeland scroll compressor, and you will find heavy-gauge steel, machined to last decades under real-world abuse. Now split open a modern high-SEER unit, aluminum scrolls that are lighter, cheaper, and softer. The difference is not academic. Manufacturer spec sheets rate steel scrolls for up to 25,000 operating cycles, roughly 15 years in a typical home. Aluminum scrolls most top out at 18,000 cycles, and lab tests put their average service life closer to 7 or 8 years under residential loads. Vibration data from NIST shows steel internals resist fatigue and oil pathway erosion far longer than aluminum. That is why the old units just keep running, year after year, while the new ones rack up warranty claims at double the rate. It is not about energy codes or greenwash marketing. It is about what is inside the shell and who profits when it fails. A jug of R-22, the same refrigerant outlawed in most homes, wholesales for about $40 if you can even find it. Yet when a homeowner calls for a recharge, the invoice lands at $3,000 or more. The markup is not about labor or parts. It is the artificial scarcity written into federal law and enforced by manufacturers' own service networks. I have held those invoices in my hands, names redacted, but the story is always the same. A few pounds of refrigerant, a leak check, and a bill that could cover a used car. Multiply that by the millions forced into replacement or sky-high service calls, and the ledger explodes. Industry analysts peg the total spend at $14 billion, money siphoned from people who did nothing wrong, who just wanted to keep their homes cool. That is the cost of a rulebook written by the same companies cashing the checks. The next blow is already on the calendar. EPA's 2025 proposal sets a new trap. By 2026, R-410A, what was billed as a safe replacement, faces its own phase down. That is 23 million homes, most of them upgraded in good faith, about to be caught in the same regulatory vice. The law will not care if your system is running strong or just paid off. It will demand a switch to R-454B or another approved low global warming potential blend, and the service path will be locked behind the same legal barricades. Here is the checklist. Find a technician with a Section 608 card, verify their EPA certification, demand documentation for any reclaimed refrigerant, and insist on a written service log. That is the only way to keep your equipment legal. The manufacturers and the EPA wrote the rules, but the fine print still leaves a lifeline, if you know where to look and who to trust. A $40 refrigerant suddenly costs $3,000, $14 billion in forced replacements. Now, 23 million more homes stand next in line. This isn't a breakdown, it's legalized extortion, engineered by design. Demand better.